Guys, okay. First of all, happy Monday. Welcome back to another episode of Soulful Living with Megs. As always, it is so wonderful to have you here back for a moment of connection with me. It always means so much to me when you take the time out of your schedule, whatever you're doing, to tune in for the next few minutes. Love it. Hopefully you don't hear my washer in the background. I just realized that I have started a load and I'm hoping that most of the sound will be muted out, but if you hear something, that is probably why. Sorry, your girl's got to do her chores. Anyway, I hope that your week has been off to a great start. If you're listening to it in the beginning of the week or whenever you are, I hope that it's been fantastic for you. I wanted to make more of a lighthearted pod today, kind of a rant, kind of just a silly, goofy one, but also to shed light on this particular topic because I feel like I am not the only one who has these thoughts, at least when I discuss this topic with my single friends. It absolutely is the consensus of the collective. But I just wanted to say what the heck is going on with dating right now. I was inspired to make this episode today because I keep coming across the same creator on Instagram Reels. I don't really watch TikTok anymore, so the Reels are something that I'm on constantly. Well, not constantly, but at least once a day I'm scrolling through. But there's always this one creator, you've probably seen her videos, where she goes up to random women on the street and she will ask them, do men ever change? And at least all of the videos that I have seen, the majority of responses are no. And then there's some great pieces of advice in there of not settling and also taking time for yourself and maybe not marrying too young. I feel like that is a big trend nowadays. I don't know that trend is the appropriate word to use, but I do feel like women are staying single longer. And especially for myself, I'm single. I recently made the episode of the benefits of single life, and I truly am embracing it and I really enjoy it. That being said, it is a challenge right now in the dating world, and partly why I am single. I'm definitely open to connection, don't get me wrong, but seeing videos like that online of women saying the same thing about men, and throughout this episode, you guys, I want to stress that I'm not putting on blast a particular species of human. Like, I don't want to say men suck, men are the worst. But I'm speaking from my experience as a heterosexual woman who, unfortunately, is interested in men. But I understand that there are issues with dating as a whole with everybody in society. I know that it's not just straight women and straight men. But it begs the question as to why. And I've been kind of looking up online, why is dating so hard? And I'm trying to see if there are similar responses to everybody, and even talking to my friends about it. And I think the majority of what I've come across is that social media has definitely had an impact on the dating scene, with the dating apps, with also the different platforms of Instagram and Snapchat, and just having people at your fingertips within a second and being able to socialize with pretty much anybody in society that you wish to socialize with is partly a factor. I also think, and again, I'm speaking from the experience of me being interested in men, but I feel like men are not courting women anymore. And I think on both sides, between people interested in other people, I think we're getting lazy. I think that there's a lack of planning. I think that there's a lack of foresight. I think that expectations right now are shifting a lot in the dating world. And I know back in the day, in the olden times, dating and being married and having a partnership was essentially essential. And I know that that was a very societal norm. It was very good for your social status. It was also the traditional aspect of a man providing for a woman and a woman being a homemaker, for example. And so you kind of needed that partnership to kind of coexist in society. So I completely understand it. And even the show that I'm watching right now, not that it's fact, but I'm assuming that it's based on some type of societal norm that happened in the past. But I'm watching Bridgerton, and the whole premise is to marry young, essentially, and these young girls are being shown to society, and these men have to court them, and then if you're not married by a certain age, you're kind of shunned upon by the town, and I find that interesting. So I know that we've moved beyond that, which I think is great. I think that women in particular are stepping into our power more, and we're embracing the fact that we can do just as much as men can do, if not more. And I think we're pretty great. I think women are amazing, but I think that with that, men have gotten lazier in terms of courting, or I don't know if because our expectations are so high that we're not energetically meeting people that match our energy, or people on both ends are being lazy with communication and putting in effort. And again, social media plays a role in that. I think having so many people at the tips of our fingertips, there's also a choice overload, and then people think, oh, I could definitely get better. I could find somebody better, which isn't a great mindset to have. And the dating apps, oh my gosh, I have not been on the apps in a long time. I can't even remember when I deleted them. It was months and months ago. But I wanted to take a break from them because I was just tired, to be honest, of seeing the same men over and over again. And also, I know that they do this on purpose, but listen, I'm not trying to pay for the app. I don't want to pay to give extra roses out. I don't want to pay to unlock these profiles. If your whole mission statement is relating to people matching with each other and finding love and then deleting the app, I don't know why you hide. I don't know why the algorithm is set a specific way so that some profiles don't reach. At least I don't think they do. I don't know. Maybe they do and these men don't swipe on me, which is fine, whatever. But I feel as though the men that are showing up in my likes, I swear I've already swiped no on them, so I don't understand why they'd be showing up in my likes. You know what I mean? It's so annoying. And I'm like, why push my profile to exactly what I've said I'm interested in? I don't understand why. Again, I don't want to give you my money. If the premise of these apps are to actually meet people, let us meet people. I don't know. I also think that people, and I know it's not just men, but obviously from my experience, I'm going to keep referencing men in general here, but I think that they could get more matches or a better looking woman according to them, you know, and so they're not putting as much effort into the matches that they have. I don't know, or there's just so many conversations going on at once. And I mean, I'm guilty of doing this. I don't enjoy having a small talk on the apps. Like, let's just get straight to the point here and ask me out, or ask for my number or my Instagram so that we can plan a date. Give me a few text exchanges back and forth and then plan something. Also, I'm not opposed to planning anything, of course. I'm not sitting here on my high horse saying you have to do all the work, but also men traditionally are providers, so why don't you want to impress these women? I don't know. Anyway, those are my thoughts on dating apps. I feel like I just have no interest in going back on them. And to be honest, I'm living vicariously through my single friends that are on the apps. And I'm hearing all of these stories, which they're quite entertaining. I feel as though Shay will not mind that I'm mentioning her by name. I love her so much. She's my friend that I live basically across the street from. We're a 30-second minute walk to each other. I can see her apartment from my balcony, which is so funny. Anyway, she has been in her single era, and I love it for her. It's been a while since she's been single, and so she's really making the most of it and trying to meet people and create new relationships and connections, and I absolutely love it. But it is comical hearing some of these stories or reading the messages between her and these men, or just things that they're saying online is crazy to me. I don't know how some people conduct themselves, and maybe it's just a joke, but I don't know. It's turning me off of the apps, to be frank with you, and I'm completely content not being on them. That being said, I also feel like there is an issue with meeting people out in the wild. I absolutely want to do that, and I'm not opposed to it. And I know I play a part in this where I don't necessarily go up to a group of guys or a man that I find attractive on the street and start a conversation. It's obviously nerve-wracking, and none of us as humans want our ego to be bruised when we get rejected, but I mean, I think we need to start doing that more, because the more we get rejected, the easier it'll become. You don't have to take it personally, but also, I don't really want to be the first one to go up to somebody. I want someone to come up to me, and I get approached, but not really from the people that I want to get approached by. And I think that we're being lazy again. I think that's what it comes down to. I think that also because we're in the world that we're in now, we're being more diligent with who we actually speak to, and the safety aspect of it absolutely plays a role. But I just feel like modern dating right now feels impossible, or like a competition. I feel like all the good men, to be honest, are gone. They're taken already. Women have snatched them up, which I absolutely love that for you, but I'm not sure that the plethora of choices right now, at least in Vancouver, I don't think it's just Vancouver. I think collectively dating is a struggle bus everywhere in the world, but there's something going on here in the water in Vancouver, that's for dang sure, and it's not just the E. coli in the ocean. But I think that there's issues with, of course, the dating apps. I think that the issue of safety, where we don't want to feel harassed, especially as women, like we have to be diligent about that kind of thing. You really never know who you're talking to. I think that there's been an increase in ghosting and just people avoiding confrontation or having a conversation with the fact that, you know, you don't feel a connection anymore. I think that some people only want hookups, which is fine if that's your preference, but I think that we are just not meeting the like-minded people that we want to meet necessarily. And I don't know. Because I'm single right now, I've been reflecting a lot. I've been reflecting on the fact that I need to be more picky, because my track record of previous men that I've been with haven't necessarily been the best. And granted, that is due to the fact that I'm working with the tools that I have and have had in the past, and so I'm constantly learning. But then also, because we're human and we cling to familiarity and we seek the comfort, even if it hurts us, you gravitate toward the love that you feel you're deserving of, or that you were shown. So it makes sense why you continue to repeat patterns. But because I'm in this state right now where I really want to be mindful of who I am giving my time to, I'm just essentially not giving my time to anybody, because thus far I have met people, or at least I haven't met anybody that is deserving of that time, or I haven't met a man that I'm willing to give my time to, because there's just a lack of effort, a lack of initiative. And I don't know if that is partly because women are so independent now that we don't, like, really, what are you going to bring to the table? But truly, what are you going to bring to the table to enhance my life? And if you feel as though I'm intimidating to you because I'm independent, because I can do things that I don't really need you for, well, I need you for some blue jobs, to be honest with you. I don't like taking out the garbage, hanging up a shelf, like I've mentioned before. Some building things could be helpful if I had a man, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not opposed to it. I obviously can do these things myself, but I don't know if that's an ego thing where you guys feel inferior nowadays. I don't know. I think that I don't want to go backward in time, and I'm not saying that we need to do what Bridgerton does and have the whole premise of living is for women to be homemakers and work at home. Absolutely not. But I would like men to step it up a little bit, for sure. At least step into your providing role. Naturally, I think that's what you gravitate towards. So I'm not really sure what is lacking you got to have more confidence, guys. Come on. You're so capable of this. I'm not really sure what's going on here. I think that if we're diving into the more superficial aspect of it, I think people are being way more superficial than they used to be. I think social media adds to that 1000%, especially with the dating apps too, where you are judging somebody solely off their looks, and even the shows that are on nowadays, all the reality TV series of literally you're dating people based on their looks. Maybe there's just a promiscuous mind to it of why do I have to settle down if I can have so much fun with all of these women and I don't have to commit to somebody. It's great if you don't want to commit to somebody, but you need to be open about that. You need to be open with the fact that you don't want to actually be with somebody exclusively, that you want to date around. That's great. I'm sure that there are people out there that will be there for you for that. I don't know if porn plays a role of this. I don't know if men are just consuming it more and their brain is being, I don't even know the term for it, just like rewired with the dopamine. It's just being affected, maybe your hormones. I literally have no idea. Could be people are being more selfish. I feel like I'm being a little bit more selfish in the sense of really trying to focus on myself and my needs first, because I naturally am a giver and I really want to outwardly give to the people that I love, but maybe other people are feeling as though they need to be more selfish and not giving others too much as before, or just being lazy. I think that that's a huge thing that comes down to it. Like I've mentioned before, is that we're lacking initiative and nobody is willing to step outside of that in a way to really work hard. And I know that that is a very general, stereotypical answer, and I'm not saying that that applies to every single human being. I know that there are people out there that absolutely want to build a life with somebody and they're doing all the things that they need to do with that. But there is a lack of wanting to create time for somebody else. And again, I am all for putting yourself first and filling up your cup first, because I'm a big believer that you cannot give to other people without giving to yourself first. But sometimes we have to be a little bit more generous. Sometimes we need to understand that I can give to myself, but if I want a relationship that uplifts me, that serves me, especially men wanting women who support them, who provide whatever they are desiring of, they also have to do the same on their end for their partners. It shouldn't be a double standard thing. And I think that we're missing the foresight of the point of human connection, if that makes sense. I feel like that was a little deep, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. The fact of the matter is that dating is crazy right now. And I want it to be more fun. I want us to continue, as Tinks would say, a summer of outside energy into all the seasons that we have, which I think is a great mindset to have. But people are also unwilling to be open-minded, I feel. I also feel like this is a very Vancouver thing because I didn't experience it as much in Calgary. And I feel like because I moved here, when people find out that I'm from Calgary, they often say, wow, that makes sense. That's why you're so nice and so welcoming to, strangers. But so many people here, I swear, they have blinders on. They're focused on themselves. They are in a straight arrow, walking on their path and only their path. I swear people don't come up to anybody anymore and socialize and talk. And I don't know that people are as friendly here. And maybe that's because of the weather. It sucks. I get it. I'm sure it affects all of our moods. But people just don't come up to you as much anymore here. And if they do, people think they're weird for it. And that's probably what stops a lot of men coming up to women, is that you don't want to have you don't want to be getting the look that some women give you when they're basically like, excuse you, why are you speaking to me? I totally get it. And of course, there are many times where I do not want to be approached, but if I'm looking at you, if I do that stare and look away, you should know that's your sign. No, I'm just kidding. But we need to have more fun. We need to not be afraid to be rejected. We need to go up to people more and say, hey, I like your outfit, or I really like your tattoos, or your hair looks great. And I know I was just talking about how superficial things aren't great, but obviously you don't know this person. You're doing it based off of you're walking down the street and you see somebody that you admire something of them. So mention that maybe. And there are so many, like when you're at a bar, you can go up to people, and I don't think you need any alcohol to be able to have the courage to do this. I know that liquid courage definitely helps, but you don't need to be able to start a conversation. There's this place in Kits in Vancouver. It's called Batch. Most people have probably heard of it. And I just found out about it this summer, actually. And I went once with my friend Shay, and it was super cute. It was a very communal seating arrangement. You basically go up to a concession stand almost, and you order drinks or food or whatever. And then you kind of sit wherever you'd like in this enclosed patio. And it's outside, and they have live music. They have a bunch of different benches. They have separate chairs. They have a little fireplace area, and it's super cute. It overlooks the ocean, and it's really quite something in the little neighborhood, and I absolutely love it. And so that is a perfect social opportunity for us to mingle and meet new people. Did we meet new people the time we went? No. I was a little bit nervy to go up to groups of men. It is intimidating when you're with two women. There's only two of us and we're going up to a table of 5 to 7. It's a lot for sure. But we just have to go for it. And what's the worst that could happen? Somebody's not interested. Somebody is unavailable because they're not single. That's okay. Somebody doesn't swing your way. That's also okay. Literally, that's the worst that could happen. Side note here on this, I was listening to a live show from one of Tinks's podcasts every Wednesday, and I guess Monday now she does a live show, but Wednesdays people call in to do a specific Ask Me Anything type scenario. So there are tons of different questions that come about, and also stories too, because Tinks has a lot of mantras, so people like to share their practices in place that they've had based on these mantras that she shares. And someone called and said that they had a Summer of Outside game that they played, and it was called the Mat game. And I actually took this idea, kind of did a spin-off on it, so I'll share that. But she said the premise was all my single girlfriends played it all summer, and the idea, because Matthew is a very typical guy name, it's pretty well known, that the idea was every time they went out and about on the town that they would try to kiss as many mats as they could in one summer. Which, if you're totally comfortable with that, I love it. That's so much fun. And I liked the idea, but I didn't really want to kiss anybody. You know, I've definitely had that in the club. Sorry, Mom. I've definitely been super drunk and have had my fair share. But that's when I was 18, pre-COVID times. You know what I mean? We've all been there. But I wanted to play the Mat game. And instead of kisses, actual kisses that I wanted to give out to these men who were named Matt, I bought a bag of Hershey's Kisses, and I carried them in my little bag with me. And then we went up to groups of men and asked, is your name Matt? And we actually met one Matt the night that we played this. Literally, we played it one night and one night only. It's so brutal. And my friend Shay, actually, we were with a few other friends as well. But once she got drunk enough, because I wasn't drinking, she would initiate the conversation. She stopped these men, and then I would say, is your name Matt? And then if it was, I'd give them a Hershey's kiss. And we, again, met one Matt, and it was so fun. I was so excited to finally meet one. But, you know, fun games like that you can play with your friends, and it just gets the conversation going. Or if you have a question that you'd like to ask people, go around and ask them. I've seen online so many of these little games that women play at the clubs to different men, and it's so fun, just lighthearted games. I can't really think of the particular ones on the top of my head, but I know I've seen them before. But the point is we need to bring more fun back into dating, because it's just really not the vibes right now. And it's not making me want to get out to meet people, if I'm being honest. I stay at home a lot. I'm going to be real. Obviously, I'm not going to meet my partner if I'm at home all the time. Completely get it. However, it doesn't incentivize me. The things that I'm hearing through my friends when they're actively dating right now, or things that have happened in previous relationships with some of my friends that I've heard about and have lived through, even myself too, it's not incentivizing me to go out and about and meet my next man. to be honest with you. And I'm not trying to talk down to you guys. I'm not saying that you guys are trash. I don't think that at all. I think that you guys are important in this world. We brought you into this world, let's be honest. You literally wouldn't be here without women. However, it's not making me want to go out more because of this laziness, because of men not courting anymore, because of a lack of effort, a lack of empathy, men being cheaters or so self-centered or narcissists or whatever. And I know that these are big words to throw out there, but I know that they exist, and it's not making me think, yeah, I am so excited to date because I can't wait to meet this guy who does this for me, who's not adding to my life. You know what I mean? I want to meet somebody who adds to my life. And I know that I will, and I'm in no rush, and because I'm still so young, and I think that I'm at the most perfect place in my life right now because the universe always has divine plans for us, and I completely understand that, and I'm embracing it. But I would also love to be a little bit, and maybe it's because I'm not as open, because from what I'm seeing, it's not making me want to be super open, but that could be why I'm just not meeting people, because subconsciously I am just assuming that they're not going to live up to the expectations that I have. And that being said, the whole point of this, I don't want us to lower our expectations. I want every single person who listens to this to have their high expectations because they know that they can match these expectations for other people. So keep your expectations high because you absolutely will meet somebody who can meet them for you, because there are people out there with the same capacity that you have to give and receive. I absolutely believe that. But God, guys, dating is crazy right now. I know it probably wasn't easy back in the day for our parents too, or even before that, our grandparents. I'm sure it wasn't. And there was less of a choice. There was not a lot of work with. If you were from a small town, you're like, well, I guess I have the choice between Jim, Bob, and John here. So I'm going to pick one of them because someone's got to go to work while I'm at home. You know what I mean? Like there was less options. And I love that we have more options now. I love that we can use our online platforms to make other connections, but I think we need to do it in a better, healthy way. I also think dating apps need to improve a ton. I am not going to pay you. I do not want to pay you to meet my person. No, thank you. Just give me the profiles and don't waste my time. It's also overwhelming swiping sometimes. It's just, some people think of it as a game. If you want to do that, super fun. But it can get so addicting when you're swipe. And if I'm being honest, it's also very humbling. I'll give you that. It is a very humbling experience too. But it's also overwhelming at the same time. There's so many options to choose from. So who do you give your time to? Who do you start a conversation with? Who do you match with? It is hard out there for sure. And I know I'm not alone in that feeling. But I appreciate you guys listening to this rant. There wasn't a ton of structure to it, so I appreciate you listening to me ramble, I'm sure. But if you are single right now and you're diving into the dating scene, props to you. I hope it's going well. If you're taking a break like me to focus on yourself, absolutely amazing. I hope that that's going well for you too. If you're listening to this and you're in a very happy relationship, I am so happy for you, truly. I have so many friends in my life that have incredible partners, and I couldn't be happier for them. And it gives me hope to know that there are people like that still out there and that they're within my reach as well. And so I know I'll get that, which is why I'm not worried about it. But oh my, even some of my older coworkers I talk to about dating, because they're also single and in the dating world too. And the creator that I mentioned at the beginning here, that I'll tag in the show notes if I can find a video from her again before this episode airs. I'm sure I will, because she pops up quite frequently. But the older women saying that men don't change really doesn't give me hope. I believe it for certain. And my coworker, she's older than me, can probably attest to that too. But just hearing even her stories of online dating and these men that she's talking to, God, it really doesn't get better. You just really got to pick one and figure out which thing you're willing to compromise on. And I'm not saying that women have things to work on too. I get it. I'm not the perfect human being, but Jeez Louise, it's cray cray out there. And I know change is easier said than done. Again, I'm not trying to spit on men here. I'm not trying to talk down to them. I don't want to make you guys feel bad. I think you're awesome. I just think you need a little bit more of a push to really get your poop in a group and start courting women more. At least I'd like to be courted. I am, again, very independent, but I'd like somebody who can match my energy and my drive. And I know I'll get that. But anyway, it's until then, I'm just going to have a good time with myself and hang out in my home and whatever. Play the mat game with my Hershey's Kisses because I have 8 zillion left because I only played it one night. Anyway, not because I don't go out much. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you for listening today to this silly episode. And I love you guys so much. I hope that your week is filled with endless opportunities of joy and love and light. And of course, I'm sending all of that beautiful energy to you. So I hope that you feel it. I can't wait to connect with you next Monday. When you're listening to this, it might already be Thanksgiving. So if you are listening to this on Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. I don't exactly know when I'm going to post this one. Probably next week, so you'll probably hear it on Thanksgiving. But I hope that you are surrounded by all your loved ones and that you feel so blessed because you absolutely are. And I will talk to you very soon. Okay, bye guys.